Theories of the fetish. Fetishism, a form of sexual desire in which gratification is linked to an abnormal degree to a particular object, item of clothing, part of the body, etc. A man with a fetish for surgical masks. An inanimate object worshipped for its supposed magical powers or because it is considered to be inhabited by a spirit. Fetishism can be broken down into three categories: anthropological fetishism, psychoanalytic fetishism, and Marxist fetishism, also known as commodity fetishism. Anthropological fetishism is the primitive belief that godly powers can inhere in inanimate objects, such as totems and religious crosses. These were believed to have had supernatural powers. Sigmund Freud, pictured here, explained a psychoanalytic fetish as being a special form of penis substitution. It is, in short, a sexual fetish. As explained by Marx, the commodity remains simple as long as it is tied to its use value. When a piece of wood is turned into a table through human labour, its use value is clear, and as a product, the table remains tied to its material use. However, as soon as the table emerges as a commodity, it changes into a thing which transcends sensuousness. The connection to the actual hands of the labourer is severed as soon as the table is connected to money, as the universal equivalent for exchange. People in a capitalist society thus begin to treat commodities as a value inhered in the objects themselves, rather than in the amount of real labour expended to produce the object. ASMR was first described in 2010 as the relaxing, often sedative sensation that begins from your scalp and moves throughout the body when listening to soft sounds such as rustling leaves, crinkling paper, and scratching dry skin. This sensation can be achieved through both visual and audio clips. This has been used to encourage relaxation but currently has no scientific evidence to encourage this as a form of de-stressing. As for the mechanisms at work behind ASMR, nobody is quite sure why some people react the way that they do. It could be that the videos remind you of your childhood. Perhaps, for example, you watched your mum do the same action as a kid, so it's comforting. Or that the simple sounds lull you into a relaxed state. A study by McGill University found that listening to music releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter in the brain that's important for pleasure, and is associated with rewards like food and sex. Perhaps ASMR generates the same effect. The stimuli that trigger ASMR vary from person to person. Some of the most common ones include whispers, white noise, lip smacking, having a person's complete attention, as in having one's hair cut by a hairdresser, as well as brushing, chewing, tapping, scratching, and crinkling. ASMR can be considered both a psychoanalytic fetish as well as a commodity fetish. When we listen to ASMR, we are likely to feel tingling sensations for which some may find sexual pleasure. The sounds have been found to release dopamine. This also relates to the commodity fetish, as people will pay money in order to use objects such as slime, sand, and bubble wrap to have the same sensations they feel from watching the videos and listening to the sound clips. I have conducted a number of experiments with regards to using everyday objects to create sounds that someone who enjoys ASMR would also enjoy themselves. The first recording was made by slicing a sharp knife through a mound of kinetic sand. The second recording was made by firmly pressing the sand into a container and then using an ice cream scoop to scoop the sand out. The use of ASMR in order to stimulate arousal or pleasure is not a new phenomenon, and many videos can be found online in order to support this. Although the term ASMR is new, the actual sensation is something that has been seen to affect certain people for a long time. If you have memories of jumping in the leaves as a child or playing with Play Doh with the same satisfaction, then you too have experienced ASMR.